Good to see you. Very exciting couple of days here at the Snake Pit. The album arrived early. It's like and waiting for your album is a bit like waiting for a baby. So it was just a couple of days premature. So exciting. Oh, got to show you the inside now as well. I'm so excited. So but it's all systems go, when the album arrives. It's not like the old days of record companies and distribution centres and stores. It's like, this is it. So they get dumped on the drive. Half the boxes go into the garage. One goes up into the office and one goes into the living room. And it's a production line, man. I'm signing, stuffing them in envelopes. Sulky's writing the addresses on the envelopes. And then the essential journey to the post office. I'll just put this back. Okay. Cuddling my baby. But it's very exciting. I mean, I feel almost embarrassed about how exciting it is when the album arrives. I should have got over it at this stage. It's about my 12th, 13th, 14th album, but it's still so exciting. And the trio seems so new. The album with my number one buddy, Mr. Johnny Thurkel, and the fine human being and guitar player that is Mark Cresswell. That's still really new. It's not a year old. It's probably not even 6 months old, and still loving that. And so there's two babies to play with each other. Oh, I know, it's pathetic, isn't it? So yeah, it's been a hive of activity. And I know the post is a bit slower than usual, but even so, I got my first customer review. My mate Cole from up near Newcastle. He said, "Oh, I'm listening to it now, man." He said, "It soothes the soul and it's lush." I'm not so sure about lush, but it really is. Every track is chilled out and relaxed. That was the idea. And for once in my life, I seem to have got my timing right, maybe. And it really is a mellow, relaxed thing with loads of the woodwinds. And when I play this thing, I play it down the bottom, all husky and smooth and gentle. It's a gentle album. So maybe a track or two off that today, or maybe, definitely, unless I press the wrong button and stuff. I think, we talked about porridge, and I think we need to talk about celery, Is it worth the hassle? So I had my usual porridge this morning, with a bit of broccoli and no carrots today. A bit of ginger, a few nuts and seeds, a bit of yogurt. But then for lunch I had a bit of mackerel pate and some celery. But celery's a nightmare, isn't it? I mean, it tastes okay, and it's supposed to be good for you, but it just gets all in your teeth and stuff, and it's all stringy. Is it worth it? I don't know. I want to know what you think. There was a real baby. I mean, I've talked about my CDs like they're babies. They're not babies, they're CDs. But there was a real baby born today. Phoebe, baby Phoebe. What time to be born, into this craziness. She'll have some memories. Baby Phoebe. And Joe did a good thing. He, our next door but one neighbour, Amy, she's proper hero, frontline girl, driving an ambulance. And as with many such heroes, no protective gear whatsoever yet. It's on its way. But so Joe got down with his 3D printer and made a mask. 3D printer, bit of knicker elastic and some acetate, and it works. So that was a good thing. But even better, Amy's dad Bill came round with a bottle of red wine, which is absolutely fantastic because Joe doesn't drink red wine, but I do. Might have to trade him a beer for it. So yeah, that was good. And now earlier on today, this fellow walks into the studio with a baritone sax, and must have been flagrantly ignoring the isolation rules. He's going to help me out on this next track, and I've moved my isolation blues on one step further. It's got a verse now, a vocal verse. I better have a little drink, hadn't I? Got a husk going on there. So I'm slowly edging on, and I was just wondering today how many musicians around the world have written isolation blues, and I wonder if my corny lines have been repeated by anybody else, or if they've had better ideas. It'd be interesting. I wonder if you put all the isolation blues together on one massive album. It'd be a multiple massive box set, wouldn't it? The isolation album. So let's see if we can summon him. See if he's here. Are you there, mate? Are you there? Oh, there he is. Got the isolation blues. Come on. I got the isolation blues. Seems like I lost the right to choose. I got the isolation blues. But there is still so much to lose. I got the isolation blues. I'm gonna blow. Isolation blues. I've got the isolation blues. Seems like I've lost the right to choose. I've got the isolation blues. Yeah. But there is still so much to lose. I've got the isolation blues. Hey. Yeah, that was a bit silly, really, wasn't it? And it's quite weird when you're looking at the monitor, because the monitor is in reverse. It's like, is that like a mirror? Or no, it's not like a mirror. So I was trying to look at the other fella, but I was looking out the window instead. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think there's a way in the software to turn that round, but then it might be weird in another way. So I was trying to adjust my strap earlier on, but I kept pulling the wrong side. You don't need to know that, really. We're supposed to make it look slick and professional. No, we're not. I'm just down the shed playing a few tunes and talking a bit of nonsense for you, and giving you a break from the news. You're not allowed to look at the news while I'm playing and talking, all right? Is that a deal? Because it's obsessive, isn't it? It can get obsessive. Craig and Becky, thanks a lot down in Devon there, listening in. And Chris Simmons, a lot closer than Devon. He's about 7 doors down on the other side of the road. Chris and Helen, I guess we need to catch up, man. Where's Dom? Is he Switzerland? I don't know. I need to know. And especially when I do this, I think about the gigs that I'm missing, and pretty soon I'll be going down to going down to the West Country. I think I talked about it a show or two ago, and we were going to go to Ivy Bridge and St Austell and somewhere else, but we're going to kick off in Yeovil. We got my mate Pete down there in the Quicksilver Mill. Like, we have a great scene going on there. He's a fantastic music fan. He always pays me even if there's nobody in, and because we have a laugh. It's like arguing with the promoter. No, Pete, I can't take that much because you're losing. Oh, I don't care, man. We had a great night. It's one of those, you know. And so all the fans down there, especially Tim Hubbard, and I'll be missing you in a few weeks' time. Pete, you even had the banner up on outside the pub, didn't you? And but we'll do it again. We will do it soon, this year, I hope, or early next year. Let me get rid of the tenor saxophone. So, do a track from the album, and like I was saying, it was all this relaxed, floaty, ethereal, a lot of woodwinds and sounds from nature. I wanted to get in, and I had this idea. Everybody sort of groans when Snakey has an idea. That I wanted to use the sound of a heartbeat and the sound of breathing. And you won't be surprised to hear me say that, will you? Those of you who don't know me, and I'm sparing you the breathing exercises at the top of the show. But this one is a kind of it's a 4-minute breathing exercise, really. And no, don't go. So I fell at the first hurdle almost because I couldn't record my own heartbeat. I had tried about 5 different mics and I had them duct taped to my heart place, which was quite painful when I was swapping them. But I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get a proper clean heartbeat sound. Somebody's going to send me a message now how I should have done it. I should have swallowed the mic. So in the end, I bought one. There are sample libraries where producers and writers and filmmakers can use these sample libraries where you can get all kinds of, you can get loops, drum loops and little funky bass loops, and you can get whatever you want these days, can't you? And so I found this sample library that would sell me a heartbeat. I think it cost me $10. But everything else is homegrown. When you hear the breathing, it's me and Solky and Joe. And Dave Bowie's on there as well. But he was a bit quiet. It just sort of backs up my theory. He's not really human. And so you get the heartbeat, then you get the breath coming in. You'll hear this in a minute anyway. And then bring a didgeridoo in, keeping it earthy and wooden. And then shakuhachi, I'll show you that one. And this is the, I did introduce you to the shack a couple of shows ago, but this is the big shack, like the jumbo shack, like the baritone shack. It's pitched in A instead of D. And then I bring some voices in, and loads of me going, hum, which you'll also hear. I think that's it. So it kind of builds and builds and builds. The voices come in, and it gets a bit more intense. Then it floats out on the breath and the heartbeat. So it's even though I've heard it loads of times, and so is Sulky. I'll stop calling her Sulky. That was a typo the other day, which we really loved. I was Snadgy and she was Sulky, but she's not Sulky. She's Sally. So when we were checking the disc yesterday, we checked every track to make sure they were okay before we posted any out. And this one came on, and we both went, we just couldn't help breathing with it. So I'm hoping it has that effect for you as well. And let's just see. This is a bit of an experiment. Will it work? So I just took the recording. I was going to try and play the didgeridoo live, but it was too much. I was knocking mic stands over and all kinds of things. So I made a track from the original recording, which has got everything on except this, so I can play this live. And well, let's all do the breathing, okay? I'm watching you. Oh dear. Oh, and it's called Kokoro Kisoku. Kokoro Kisoku, which means, you won't be surprised to hear, it means heart and breath. Let's get going. I could tell you were breathing. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, would you? You wouldn't still be here. Ai, kokoro kisoku. Exciting. Right, this is the. Oh, what have I done? I pressed the wrong thing. My fingers are too sensitive. When things are touch screens are a dual-edged sword, aren't they? Let me go and see if anybody's with me. Over to my chat page. Aha. Yes. There you are. There you are, but I can't see. Oh, I've got no messages tonight. I mean, I'm sure you have said something to me, but I can't find them. What about if I refresh the page? Even I know how to do that. No. I refreshed the page and I didn't get nothing. So new, hold potentially inappropriate messages for review. Has anybody sent any inappropriate messages? Something's happening on my screen. So maybe, and it says loading. Maybe I'll find you there. I hope so. I'm going to go back to my other page. I know you're there. I know you're there. I can feel you. So, before we moved on, I wanted to, even though I didn't manage to get the technology together to play the didgeridoo at the same time as the track was rolling along, but I did bring the didgeridoo along to show you and maybe play a couple of notes on it. I can get rid of these for a while. There it is. And I meant to set a mic up down low. It's been a crazy day, but I think you can still hear it. Let me show you the whole. And if I can show you the other end, I'm going to crash into the window. There you go. So on that end, that is a bit of beeswax, and that makes a crude mouthpiece, which is basically a brass style mouthpiece, like a trumpet, trombone, but not like it as well. And sometimes they're made of eucalyptus. Occasionally they're made of bamboo. I have no idea what. I mean, I got this one from a tourist shop, I think, about 30 years ago when I first visited Australia on the cruise boats. And it fitted in an overhead locker. I don't think you'd be allowed on with a didgeridoo these days, would you? And I'm absolutely rubbish on it, but I can get a sound out of it. So basically, you just kind of blow a giant raspberry down it. So. And then with the chamber of your mouth, you can kind of change the tone a little bit, and then with a bit of tongue, and you can start to do little bits of funky things. And the proper guys who play it well, they do all kinds of animal sounds, like, you know, it's Australian obviously, so they do the itinerant animals, itinerant, I don't know, correct me. The dingoes and the bouncing kangaroos. That was a kangaroo bouncing across the plain. You had to use a lot of imagination for that, didn't you? So I decided I would try and do something English. So I wanted to do like a walk in the countryside and get some wood pigeons in, and maybe a cow. See if I can do this. I don't know. I've never done it to camera before. What a terrible idea that was. I wish I'd not gone for that. Not, with a camera in front of me. Anyway, maybe you get the idea, and you've heard the sound of the didgeridoo. And it involves the ability to circular breathe, to breathe in through your nose at the same time as you're blowing out of your mouth. It's like kind of storing air in your cheeks, like a hamster storing food. But I didn't even demonstrate that well either. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to chuck this out the window now. Right, I'm looking for my chat again, just in case it's come back. Oh, yeah. Oh, Stephen, you're too kind. You heard the pigeon. Eric Hunter says, regarding celery and vegetables in general, global warming is a fact. And have you noticed that iceberg lettuces are getting smaller? Oh, Eric, that's a terrible gag. That is a terrible gag. Oh, yeah, you've all come through now. Oh, flipping it, it's millions. Right, I'm going to do everybody today. John Wilson is back. Oh, you missed me yesterday. It's fantastic. I missed you too. Simon Oxley's back. Chris Simmons is there. And Mystical Flower. That's such a lovely name. And Richard and Anna back. And Judith Simpson is here. Fantastic. Craig Rose, Mike Allen, Delta Run, and the Reverend Danny is with us. Fantastic. Viv and the dogs as well. Kevin Hallas. Stephen Shursby. I wrote to you today. I don't know if you got it. Celia Wood is back. Robert Isles. Joe Preston. You're a proper regular. And Joe's going to be ordering a CD, which you can do by going to our website, which is snakedavis.rocks. And it's written underneath the YouTube when you look back at it. If you've got it full screen, if you look at it later, you see all the bump underneath there. And if you want to chuck something in the hat, completely up to you. These are free of charge, unless you want to chip into Joe's next haircut and buy me a reed for my saxophone. And Sally Solke is saying pre-orders go out as soon as they hit the drive. They did. They flipping well did, yeah. Oh, lush is a Geordie word, says Katie. It's a compliment. Yeah. I'll take it. Yeah. And Karen Holmes is back. And Kevin Goodall's back. I wrote to you as well, mate, today. Sue Chan. Congratulations on the new album. Missed me as well. Glenn O'Hara is back. He's a regular. Good boy. He's a sax player too. Chris Holmes. Thank you. It's a good question. I don't have a PayPal account. Can I send a check? We'll take money in any form whatsoever. So contact us offline. You can pay by backs. You can pay by check. Jane sent me a £10 note the other day because she didn't want to join PayPal either, but she wanted to chip in. So anything's accepted. Any kind of rascal counter. So yeah, just contact us offline, and you can find the email on the website, or you can remember it's sally@snakedavis.rocks. And 2 snakes, even better. I don't know about that. Charlotte's back. Charlotte Dunbar. William Coulson's back. I've got my regulars now. Kevin Hallas, Annie Lane, Andrew Mills has tuned in. Oh, you are walking, buddy. Just look wistfully at the house because we're not allowed to walk together anymore. Just really enjoying it. Thank you. And Lincoln and Lindsay Archer, Christine McManus, Sue Dibbins here again, and Ernie's back. Fantastic. Might do at dawn later. I keep setting. Ernie was one of my collaborators. He's my main collaborator on Time Stands Still, and what a great man he is. And I keep setting him tasks. They're impossible, but he can do them. Ron's there. He can't wait for his CD to arrive. See, the post is dodgy because I posted it yesterday. Sally says, all the CDs went out first class yesterday, so should be with you tomorrow, the latest, even in this current climate. And Richard and Anna back. Pauline Ruth. Oh, from Threlka. And Sue Usher is there. Superb. I love it when you start talking amongst yourselves. Andrea and sulky are having a right old chat. Rick Davis is wondering if I'm getting your messages, and I am now. I don't know what I pressed. I pressed some random wrong button. Oh, we don't do Bitcoin. Yeah, rather a £10 note than Bitcoin. Brilliant. Duncan Grant's back with us. He's been saving lives this week. Super dented. Snake Uhachi. Yeah, well, I'll tell you all about that offline, where you get the shakuhachi. You really get them from Mejiro in the north of Tokyo, but you need more info. Ernie says, nothing's impossible when working with you, buddy. You're the maestro. Ah. Right then, that's a challenge. I'll play some more music. I think I'm going to pick the alto sax blues for you. A blues. I just made it up. Mostly like a gig and partly like a recording. But I never thought I'd be able to get this kind of connection with you guys when we were all isolated. So I'm chuffed. It's good. It's an isolating thing. Not an isolating thing. An isolating thing. So we didn't get any more about celery apart from Eric's quip about the iceberg lettuce. Gone from heavy breathing to sleaze. So Joe's been practicing the growl. We've been doing some saxophone workshops as well. I'm talking about the way that we spice up the sounds and start to get individual, start to get a bit cheeky with the notes that we play. Instead of playing them straight, we're bending them and growling them and doing vibrato. And tomorrow we've got another one. What day is it? Tuesday? Yeah, Wednesday. We've got back with a sax workshop at 11 o'clock, and we're going to talk about glissandos, where you go blip or blip, and smooth chromatic runs to join the notes more beautifully, and that should be a lot of fun. And Jackie Crafter, she's loving the workshops too. So now I know Stephen is. Yvonne Finney, better late than never, and you can always listen back to these things. It takes us, takes Joe, Super Joe, a good half an hour or so before they each get uploaded. But within an hour after the end, after we say goodbye, it'll be up there for you to get the beginning bit that you missed. You can't still be confused by the clocks, can you? 2 days. Was it 2 days? Yeah, they changed on Sunday, didn't they? Oh, that was vicious. That was a sneaky move, changing the clocks on us. The girls are talking about my shirt now, which Sulky made for me. I feel another tune coming on. And I picked the tenor sax up this time. Oh, the other fella that walked in, he was playing the baritone when we did the Isolation Blues. And I was playing the tenor. Just played the alto for that Make It Up As You Go Along blues. And now I'm going to move back to the tenor. And it's a piece I played a few nights ago, but one or two of you said, would I play it again? And I'll be delighted to. And it's Thelonious Monk's Round Midnight. Thank you. Headphones back on. You okay? Round Midnight, Thelonious Monk. What a man. I suppose his era was 1950s, 1960s. Played with John Coltrane and all those, you have to call them cats, because they're so jazzy and such a cool jazz scene. Wrote fantastic songs and was a brilliant, quirky player. His solos are so kind of off the wall. He'd play a note and he'd have a cup of tea until he played the next one. Then he'd play some crazy runs. Which, if he'd ever transcribed them and wrote them out, they shouldn't have worked, but they did. You can think too much about music when you should just be playing it. What have you got to say? There's a restaurant in Cambridge, Massachusetts. My pronunciation is nowhere tonight. I've been isolated too long. Massachusetts, called Thelonious Monkfish. That's brilliant. I didn't know that. Thank you, Celia. Thank you, Charlotte. Have I missed anybody? No, I don't think so. So we hit show number 9 today. I can't believe it. Time has just gone weird. Absolutely, I'm sure you find the same. Time is moving at a different pace. So I'll play one more tune and then sign off and say goodbye. Back at the same time tomorrow. Back for the sax players at 11 o'clock. And absolutely open to requests for anything at all, but especially topics for the workshop. So I just want to help you guys and make your time isolating more fruitful and more enjoyable, more fun, and for you to make better progress. There's a band in Los Angeles called Thelonious Monster. Yeah, like that too. So I don't think I need to give you any more information. I think I've plugged the album enough and talked about it enough. And so perhaps that's another thing you've got more time to do at the moment, listen to music. The trio album that I mentioned with Johnny and Mark Creswell, it's imaginatively entitled Snake Davis Trio. And that's also a chilled out, relaxed album with lots of Brazilian jazz, and it's very cool, and they're both unbelievably beautiful players, as you probably know. So you won't be surprised to hear I'm going to finish with another one from the new CD, and at the moment they're all my favourite tracks because it's so new, my baby CD. This one is called At Dawn, and this actually is a shortened version here. It's a bit longer on the album. That sounds like it's designed to make you buy it. You're going to buy it anyway, aren't you? So, At Dawn, and written and recorded with my buddy Ernie, the aforementioned. So thank you, mate. You're the man. And I'll play this and I'll say goodbye. Oh, now I did introduce this the other night, but I cannot assume, cocky little so-and-so that I am, that everybody's watching every night. I'm just really pleased that somebody's watching some nights. So let me introduce it again. It's yet another bamboo flute, but this one's Chinese. And it's called slow down. It's called the Ditzy. And it's a transverse one. In other words, you play it sideways, not front blown like the shakuhachi. And one of its main characteristics is it has this thing here, which looks like I've just patched it up, doesn't it? Which actually looks a mess, but that's a demo, which is sort of extra vent hole with a bit of bamboo paper over it, which gives it, I hate to say it, but gives it a sort of slight kazoo edge. But in context with the bamboo, it gives it like a really interesting special characteristic, I think. You've got 2 minutes to be cheeky back to me about that one. Actually, when we were rehearsing this one the other day, and Joe looked round, he said, "Sounds like something wrong with your flute." So I'd explain to him as well. Okay, let's get the track rolling. And this piece is called At Dawn. At Dawn from the new album Time Stands Still, which I've probably spoken about too much. But I make no apologies. It's better than talking about that than celery and porridge. Thank you. Judy Bridge, Invocation to the Gods. Oh, that would have been a good title. Yvonne Finney's. She's seen the trio a couple of times and says it's another amazing combination, which it is. Oh, I miss those boys. Thank you, Annie. Oh, Ron's giving me loads of claps. Xander's back. Thank you, guys. I've really, really, really enjoyed your company. And go safe, go steady, take care, be kind, be gentle with each other. And, you know, we're cooped up, aren't we, some of us? But hopefully you've got rooms to escape if you need them. And I know everybody's being kind to everybody else. And folks are looking after folks. It's just a different feeling, isn't it? And it's just different. So I've absolutely loved being with you. Thanks a million. Take care. And if you can, come back tomorrow, 7 p.m. Then it's different the day after. It's 11 a.m. But, you know, you can find these things out. Or if you want to get the alerts, reminders, especially you that were late, subscribe to the channel and then you get a little email reminder, I think it is, when we go live. So take care, and what we do is on the count of 3, we all shout, "Stop streaming," okay? And I press the button. So, 1, 2, 3, stop streaming!